My name is Sharon Heilman, and I'm a graduate student in Dr. Sherry Stover's 8120 class. And our task over the next few weeks is to demonstrate our understanding of understanding by design. To begin, understanding by design as it relates to our course is being presented to us by Grant Wiggins and Jay McTighe. They have a two-series text set that we are covering throughout the class, so I will be using and relying on their information as well as my notes from Dr. Stover's class to present this information. You will see references related to the textbooks as well as Dr. Stover's class towards the end of this document. So we're going to start with stage one for this week. To begin, understanding by design is not prescriptive. It is a planning model intended for instructional designers, instructors of courses, teachers, so that as one is designing a course, as you step your way through this project, ideally there is a level of connectivity that will be manifested as the students are experiencing the learning. So we're going to start with stage one, identify desired results. As you can see, well, actually, I haven't told you yet. So there is a 25-page document that Dr. Stover made available to us, and I will be covering the first 6 pages of that in this broadcast. And this is stage one, where we're looking at desired results. So as you look at this document, you can see where it starts, where the creator or the instructional designer, so for purposes of this conversation, I will refer to myself as the instructional designer. Very basic but yet pertinent information. One would fill out the subject or discipline, the class name and number if known, or what the tentative number might be. Class time frame, is this a 7-week course, a 14-week course, is this a weekend course? What is it? What grade level? Is this K-12, undergraduate, graduate? Is this training for one's profession? Keywords, is it research methods? Is it human resources? Is it leadership? So there should be some keywords that one could put in there. School district, university, organization. Are you in the Kettering School District? Is this Wright State? Is this Society for Human Resource Management? But you would put in your organization, your university, or your district. Similarly, you would put in the actual school, the department, or the corporation. The type of school or organization. You can see here we have public school, private school, charter, corporation, or training. And if it's other, you would be more specific and after you click that box and tell us what organization it is. Has there been a textbook identified for the class? You can put the citation information for the textbook there. If there are any online resources or materials, many textbooks and training materials come with resources for the students as well as for the instructor. So this would, first of all, it's a great place to capture this information, but it also would remind the developer to make this available to the learner. Next, we move to unit title. Unit title, what is this unit about? Not necessarily what the course is about, but what the unit is about that we're working on. What is the time frame? Is this 1 hour of a block of time that one might have? Is this one lesson? Is it a semester? Where does the unit fit into the class? Is this the introduction? Is this the conclusion? Where within the material that's going to be presented would you be presenting this information? We're going to move on to the next page now, and you can see where the designers asked unit delivery. Is it face-to-face, a blended, online, or is there another modality? Perhaps there might be more than one that you would choose. Course design. Why are you developing this course? Is it a course project? Do you plan to teach it? Are you part of a development team? Or is there another reason? And then you would type your rationale there. Time frame to teach it. Is it you're going to teach it this semester, within the next year? What is your time frame? And then the level of expertise. Am I the subject matter expert? Am I the future instructor? Am I the course designer? Mark all that apply. Next, we move down to the unit summary, and here we're going to capture the information that would describe to the reader what the unit is going to be about. We next move to the big idea. This is what's the big idea of what they're supposed to be taking away with it from your particular unit. Is, as an example, is it the student's going to have an appreciation for how qualitative research works? From an instructional design perspective, are we going to start with the backward design to demonstrate how instructional design works? But what's the takeaway for the student? That's the big idea. Next, we move to professional organizations for content. The reason that UBD requires or suggests this information is provided is this becomes the source of the information. It's not just the instructor or the preparer of this form generating this information, but this provides credibility. Is the professional organization one that's establishing the standards? So as an example, if you're a K-12 educator in the state of Ohio, this might be the Common Core provided by the Ohio Department of Education. Is it the American Psychological Association, or APA, that's providing what the guidance is for curriculum? Is it a professional organization like the Society for Human Resource Management? So put the organization here, the URL for contact, and if there are specific competencies, you would place the URL there. Though 2 professional organizations are listed here, 2 are not necessarily required, and 2 would not be the limit. If you wanted more, you would just modify the form to accommodate that. Next, we move to standards and competencies. And these are standards, as you can read here, are like the building code. What standards or competencies are we going to try to address in the unit? And this is so that the students know what they should be learning. And again, so you can see on the left-hand side here, it says code here. So if there are multiple, you might have C1, C2, C3, and then you would enter the text of what the competency would be. Next, we talk about transfer. Transfer is the concept that, as we define it, that what a student should be able to do in the future, maybe in their career, but without the support of the classroom. So is transfer from a graduate student perspective? If I take a research methods class as an example and I understand how to conduct research, this would mean that perhaps in my job, I'm better able to critically analyze a problem, think of the questions that might be asked, collect data, analyze the data, and present the findings. That would be an example of transfer. I've learned it in the classroom, and now I can do it in my job. You can see on the left-hand side the transfer codes, and again, there may be 5, there may be fewer, there may be more. And on the right-hand side, we want to align each of the transfer tasks or goals with the competency that it aligns with. So the competencies that we stated earlier, we should be able to address, we should have transfer goals ideally that align with all of the competencies. Obviously, as we work through this, if you have competencies that are not being used, either your unit will be considered incomplete, or you're going to need to reconsider what competencies you want to address. Next, we deal with meaning. And meaning is the idea that results from reflecting on the important generalizations. And we talk about essential questions. That's the first part. These are thought-provoking questions. These should not be yes, no. So as in a research example, an essential question might be, is qualitative research a robust method? Is it considered a robust way to conduct research? That would be an idea of an essential question. And again, on the right side, you'll see the competency code. My essential questions should align with the competency code. Then there are understanding questions. So you can see here on the screen under meaning, essential questions, and then there are understanding type questions. And these will be specifically, what do I want the student to understand? So if an essential question is discussing the value and robustness of qualitative research, something that the student would need to know, first of all, as an understanding question, is what is qualitative research? Perhaps another understanding question is differentiate between qualitative and quantitative research. The student needs to understand that before an essential question could be addressed. And again, you can see here the competency codes on the right align with the different understanding questions. The final portion of acquisition in UbD Stage 1 is the idea of knowledge and skills. Knowledge is what we want the students to know and be able to recall. So this is something that I might be able to put on a multiple choice question. It's discrete knowledge. I would be able to tell via an evaluation instrument if a student was able to respond to this question. So an example of knowledge is define different qualitative tools, where the student would be expected to say perhaps naturalistic inquiry, case study, phenomenology. Those are knowledge-based questions. And again, they relate to a competency code. And then skill is what should the student be able to do. These are discrete skills and process skills. So if knowledge is differentiating qualitative and quantitative, a skill perhaps is to be able to calculate a standard deviation. That would be a reasonable skill for a student to have. So again, we've discussed one of 3 stages in the understanding by design process, and here at the end you can see the references that I relied on for my work. Dr. Sherry Stover's lecture notes of 20 October, and then Wiggins and McTighe's books are also listed here. So I thank you for your time, and I look forward to the next few weeks where we can discuss stages 2 and 3. Hi, Sharon Heilman again. Thank you for taking the time to listen to Stage 1 Desired Results. I hope you found it informative, and I can hardly wait to present Stage 2 next week. Have a great day.